hence! Home, you idle creatures, get you home! Is this a holiday? What, know you not? Being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak! What trade art thou?
Why, sir, a carpenter.
Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman I am, but as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
Yeah, a trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave? Thou naughty knave, what trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you.
What mean'st thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow.
Why, sir, cobble you.
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with the all. I meddle with no tradesmen's matters, nor women's matters, but with all I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them. As proper man as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone upon my handiwork.
But wherefore art not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in a triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome to grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome, knew you not Pompey? Many a time and oft you climbed up to the walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops. Your infants in your arms there have sat the livelong day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout that Tiber trembled underneath her banks to hear the replication of your sounds made in her concave shores? And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now cull out the holiday? And do you now strew flowers in this way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone. Run to your houses. Fall upon your knees. Pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countrymen, and for this fault assemble all the poor men of your sort, draw them to Tiber banks, and weep your tears into the channel, till the lowest stream do kiss the most exalted shores of all. See you where their basest metal be not moved? They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I. Disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so? You know it is the feast of Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Calpurnia.
Peace, ho, Caesar speaks.
Calpurnia. Here, my lady.
Stand you directly in Antonius' way when he doth run his course. Antonius,
Caesar, my lord.
forget not in your speed, Antonius, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say the barren, touch it in this holy chase, shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember when Caesar says, do this, it is performed.
Set on and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Ah, who calls?
Bid every noise be still. Peace, yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry, Caesar. Speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March!
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see his face.
Hello, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go see the order of the course?
No, not I.
I pray you do.
I'm not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let me not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions and some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil, perhaps, to my behaviors. But let not, therefore, my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one, or construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus, with herself at war, forgets the show of love to other women.
And Brutus, I have much mistook your passion, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things.
Is just, and is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors, as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard, where many of the best respect in Rome except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus, where I the common laughter, or did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester. If you know that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
What means the shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then I think you would not have it so.
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught or the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor, more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not to be, as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born as free as Caesar. So were you. We both have fed as well. We both can endure winter's cold as well as she. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me to this angry flood, and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade her follow. So indeed she did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink." I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon her shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I, the tired Caesar. And this woman is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend her body if Caesar but carelessly nod on her. She had a fever when she was in Spain, and when the fit was on her, I did mark how she did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. Her coward lips did from their color fly, and that same eye, whose bend doth awe the world, did lose her luster. I did hear her groan. Aye, and that tongue of hers that bade the Romans mark her and write her speeches in their books. "Alas," it cried, "give me some drink, Titinius." As a sick babe. You gods, doth amaze me a woman of such feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Another general shout. I do believe these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
He doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty women walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Women at some times are masters of their fate. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus, Caesar, what should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, 'tis heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. In the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed that she has grown so great? Age. Thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age since the great flood, but it was famed with more than one woman? When could they say till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walks encompassed but one woman? Now it's Rome indeed, and room enough when there is in it but only one woman. Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this, and of these times, I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said, I will consider. What you have to say, I will with patience hear and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew on this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I'm glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
The games are done and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so, but look at you, Cassius. The angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and the rest all look like chidden train. Calpurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in some conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonius,
Caesar,
let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. Thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear him not, Caesar. He is not dangerous. He is a noble Roman, and well,
Would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. She reads much. She is a great observer, and she looks quite through the deeds of women. She loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. She hears no music. Seldom she smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if she mocked herself and scorned her spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such women as she be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for I am always Caesar. Come on, my right hand, for this here is death, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him.
You pulled me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what hath chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, you were with him, were you not?
I should not then ask Casca what had chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it back with the back of her hand, and thus people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, Mary was, and she put it by thrice, every time gentler than the other, and at putting it by, mine honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered her the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the matter of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown neither, 'twas one of those coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for all to my thinking, she would have fain had at it. Then she offered it to her again, and put it by again. But to my thinking, she was very loath to lay her fingers off it. And then he offered it a third time. He put it a third time by, and as he reused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped and chopped their hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that had almost choked Caesar. For she swooned and fell down at it, and for my own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you, what, did Caesar swoon?
She fell down in the marketplace and foamed at the mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like she hath a falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sick.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the ragtag people did not clap him and hiss according as she displeased her, then, as they do to use the players in the theater, I am no true woman.
What said she when she came unto herself?
Mary, before she fell down, when she perceived the common herd was glad she refused the crown, she plucked me ope his doublet and offered them her throat to cut. And I had been a woman of any occupation, if I would not have taken her at her word, I might go to hell among the rogues. And so she fell. When she came to herself again, she said if she had done or said anything amiss, she desired their worships to think it was her infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, "Alas, good soul," and forgave her with all her hearts. There is no need to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that he came thus, sat away.
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that, I'll never look on you in the face again. But those that understood her smiled at one another and shook their heads. But for mine own part, it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Marulus and Flavius, pulling scarves off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Fare you well. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
No, I'm promised forth.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, and if I be alive and your mind hold and your dinner worth eating.
I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell both.
What a blunt fellow she has grown to be. She was quick mettle when she went to school.
So is she now in execution of any bold or noble enterprise? However, she puts on this tardy form. This rudeness is a sauce to her good wit, which gives men stomach to digest her words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time, I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or, if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it's meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes, for who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but she loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and she were Cassius, she should not humor me. I will this night in several hands in at her windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of her name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. After this, let Caesar cede her shore, for we will shake her, or worse days endure.
Good even, Casca. Brought you Caesar home? Why are you breathless, and why stare you so?
Are you not moved when all the sway of the earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Ah, Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to destruction.
Why? Saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you may know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand not sensible of fire, it remained unscorched. Besides, I had not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, who glazed upon me and went surly by without annoying me, and there were drawn upon a heap of 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore that they saw men, all in fire, walk up and down the streets. And yesterday, the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. And when these prodigies did so conjointly meet, let not men say, these are their reasons, they are natural, for I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they do point you.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. But men may construe things after their fashion, clean for the purpose of the things themselves. Come Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow?
She doth, for she bid Antonius send word to you that she would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca, by your voice.
Your ear is good, Cassius. What night is this?
Oh, a very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens more menaced so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus unbraced, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. And when the cross-blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods take token send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman, you do want, or else you use not. You look pale and gaze and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, why birds and beasts from quality and kind, why old men, fools, and children calculate, why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures, preformed faculties to monstrous quality, why you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now could I cast a name to thee, a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, open graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol. A woman no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious grown, and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. For Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors, but woe the while, our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with children's spirits. Our yoke and sufferance show us childish.
Indeed. They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a queen, and she shall wear her crown by sea and land in every place save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein you gods make the weak most strong. Therein you gods, you tyrants do defeat. Nor stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit. But life, being worthy of these worldly bars, I know this, no part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know she would not be a wolf, but that she sees that Romans are but sheep. She were no lion, were Romans not hinds. Those that will haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what awful when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. But oh grief, where hast thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman. Then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed, and dangers to me are indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a woman, this is no fleeting telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now I know you, Casca, I have moved already some of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence, and I do know by this they stay for me in Pompey's porch. For now, this fearful night, there is no stir or walking in the streets, and the complexion of the element in favors like the work we have in hand, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
Cinna. I do know him by his gait. He's a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that? Metellus Cimber?
No, it's Casca, one in corporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
I'm glad on it. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could, but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content. Good Cinna, take this paper, and look you, lay it in the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window, set this up with wax upon old Brutus's statue, All this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All but Metellus Cimber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
That done, repair to Pompey's porch. Come, Casca. You and I will yet ere day see Brutus at her house. 3 parts of her is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields her ours.
Oh, she sits high in all people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, her countenance, like riches at alchemy, will change to virtue and worthiness.
Her and her worth and our great need of her you have right well conceded. Let us go, for it's after midnight, and ere day we will awake her and be sure of her.
But Lucius, how cannot by the progress of the stars give guess how near to day? Lucius, I say, but it were my fault to sleep so sounding when Lucian, awake, I say. What, Lucian?
Called you, my lord?
Give me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be her death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at her, but for the general. She would be crowned. How that might change her nature. There's the question. It's the bright day that brings forth the adder and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant we put a sting in her, and that at her will she may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when her affections swayed more than her reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. And so Caesar may. Then lest she may prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color, for the thing she is fashioned thus, that what she is augmented would run to these and these extremities. And therefore, think her as a serpent's egg which hatched would as her kind grow mischievous and kill him in the shell.
The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, madam.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, madam.
These exaltations, wisdom in the air, give so much light I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepest awake. Such instigations have often been dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. that I must piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one woman's awe? What? Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise. If the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hands of Brutus.
Sir, March is wasted 15 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate, somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Madam, 'tis your sister Cassia at the door, who doth desire to see you.
She alone?
No, madam. There are more with her.
Do you know them?
No, madam. Their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favor.
Let them enter. They are the faction. O conspiracy, shamest thou to show thy dang roubouts brow by night when evils are most free? But then by day where wilt thou find a cavern, dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy, hide it in similes and affability. For if thou pass thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself were dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
Think we are too bold upon your rest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I've been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every woman of them. And no woman here but honors you. And every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca, this Cinna, and this Metellus Cimber.
They are all welcome. Would watchful care do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night?
Shall I entreat a word?
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here?
No.
Oh, pardon, sir, it doth, and yon grey line that frets the clouds are messengers of day.
You shall confess you are both deceived. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great way growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence, up higher towards the north, he first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital, directly here.
Give me your hands all over, one by one.
Let us swear a resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, if these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sided tyranny range on till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards, and to steal with valor the melting spirits of women and countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? And what other oath than honesty, to honesty engaged, that this shall be, or we will fall for it? Swear priests and cowards and men cautelous, old feeble carrions and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs, unto bad causes swear such creatures as men doubt. But do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits, to think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath, when every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
But what of Cicero? Shall we sound her? I think she will stand very strong with us.
Let us not leave her out.
No, by no means.
Oh, let us have her, for her silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and by women's voices to commend our deeds. It shall be said her judgment ruled our hands. Our youths and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in her gravity.
Or name her not. Let us not break with her, for she will never follow anything that other men begin.
Leave her out.
Indeed, she's not fit.
Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
Theseus, well urged. I think it is not meet Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath and death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let us be sacrificers, not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Other than that we could kill by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar, but alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew her as a carcass fit for house, and let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up the servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them. This shall make our purpose necessary and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is cut off.
I fear him, for in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself. Take thought and die for Caesar. And that were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, to much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter. Ah.
Peace. Count the clock.
Clock is stricken 3.
It's time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he's superstitious grown of late, quite from the main opinion he held once of fantasy, of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of this night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can sway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell her she hates flatterers, she says she does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give her humor the true bent, and I will bring her to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch her.
By the 8th hour, is at the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Ligerius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated her for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of her.
Now, good Metellus, go along by him. She loves me well, and I've given her reason. Send her hither, but I'll fashion her.
Morning comes upon us. Leave you, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said, and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen and ladies, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it, as Roman actors do, with our untired spirits and formal constancy. And so, good morrow to you, every one. Boy, Lucius, fast asleep. It is no matter. Enjoy the honeyed heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor fantasies which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleep so sound.
Marcia, my lady?
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Not for yours neither. You've been ungently, Marcia, stolen from my bed. And yesternight at supper, you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further. Then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not. But with an angry wafture of your hand, gave a sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience, which seemed too much enkindled, and withal, hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometimes hath in his hour with every one. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape, as it hath much prevailed on your condition? I should not know you, Marcia. Dear my lady, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I'm not well in health, and that is all.
Marcia is wise, and were she not in health, she would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do, good Portia. Go to bed.
Marcia sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What? Is Marcia sick, that she would steal out of this wholesome bed to dare the vile conjugation of the night and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto her sickness? No, my Marcia, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half. Why are you heavy? And what ladies tonight have had to resort to you? For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Marcia. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Marcia, is it expected that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were, in some sort of limitation? To keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk with you sometimes. Well, I, but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Marcia's harlot, not her wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ready drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know the secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lady Brutus took as wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed. Cato's daughter, think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so wived? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I've made strong proof of your constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here on my thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my lady's secrets?
Oh, you gods, render me worthy of this noble wife. Hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the character of my sad brows. Leave me, with haste. Lucius, who's that knocks?
Here is a sick one that would speak with you.
Caius Ligarius, that Metellus spoke of. Boy, stand aside. Caius Ligarius? How?
Which line? 337? Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
What a time you've chosen now, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. But you were not sick.
I am not sick. If Brutus have it in mind, in hand, any exploit worthy the name of honor.
Such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius. Had you a healthful ear to hear of it?
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard the sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, thou like an exorcist hast conjured up my mortified spirit. Now, bid me run, and I will survive with things impossible. Yea, get the better of them. What's to do?
Piece of work that will make sick men whole.
But are not some whole that we must make sick?
That must we also. What it is, my Cass, I shall unfold to thee as we are going to whom it must be done.
Set on your foot, and with a heart new fired, I follow you. To do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on.
Follow me then.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, "Help, ho! They murder Caesar." Who's within?
My lord.
Go, bid the priests do present sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success.
I will, my lord.
What you mean, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threatened me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sight seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons in right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses did neigh and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth. For these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that women should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurers?
They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if she should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We are two lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my love, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. But we'll send Mark Antony to the Senate house, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not is falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say she is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be afeared to tell gray beards the truth? Theseus, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these she does apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from your great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have, when you have heard what I can say. And know it now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide herself, shall they not whisper, no, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceeding bids me tell you this, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so early too? Good morrow, Casca, Caius Ligarius. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same ague which hath made you lean. What is it o'clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. See, Antony that revels long a nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So too, most noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now, Cinna, now, Metellus, what Trebonius, I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you.
Ah, Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus earns to think upon.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca, Have an eye to Cinna, trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these women, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover, Artemidorus. Here I will stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor will I give her this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayst live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
I pray thee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know my errand, madam?
I would have had thee there and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. Constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. Art thou here yet?
Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you and nothing else?
Yes. Bring my word, boy, if thy lady look well, for she went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to her. Hark, boy, what noise is that?
I hear none, madam.
Prithee listen. I heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been? Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
What is it o'clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass unto the capital.
Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards her?
None that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The thing that follows Caesar as the heels of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along.
I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. Oh, Marcia, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Marcia hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lady. Say I am merry. Come to me again, and bring me word of what she doth say to thee.
The Ides of March are come.
Sorry.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar. Read this schedule.
Bonius does desire you to read at your best leisure this his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first. For mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourself shall be last served.
Delay not, Caesar. Read it instantly.
What, is the fellow mad?
Sirrah, give place. Are your petitions in the street? Come to the capital.
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Popilius?
Fare you well.
What said Vithilius, Lena?
She wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius, Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius, Lena speaks not of our purposes. For look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time. For look you, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go, and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
Casca, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and her senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat an humble heart.
I must prevent thee, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean, sweet words, low crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will she be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than mine own, to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, declaring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom from repeal.
What, Brutus?
Oh, pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon, as low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true, fixed, and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there's but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number, I do know but one that unassailable holds on her rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am she. Let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
O Caesar.
Hence, wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel? Et tu?
For me.
Et tu, Brute? Then fall Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run hence, proclaim it, cry it about the streets.
Come to the common pulpits and cry out liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not, stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius too.
Where's Publius?
Here, quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast together, lest some friend of Caesar's should chance.
Talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person nor to Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest the people rushing on us should do your age some mischief.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed, but we, the doers.
Where's Antony?
Fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run, as it were doomsday.
Fate, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die, we know 'tis but the time, and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years fearing death.
Grant that. And then is death a benefit? So are we, Caesar's friends, that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows, and the spear, our swords. Then we walk forth even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let's all cry, peace, freedom, liberty.
Stoop then, and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, that now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so often shall not of us be called the women that gave their country liberty.
What shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will brace our heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Soft, who comes here? A friend of Antony's.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus he bade me stay. Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him so, please him come into this place. He shall be satisfied, and by my honor depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
Wish we may, but yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgivings still fall shrewdly to the purpose.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
Mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Well, I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else's rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half the worth as those your swords made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, if you bear me hard, now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so happy to die. No place will please me so. No mean of death as here by Caesar, and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
Oh, Antony, make not your death of us, though now we must appear bloody and cruel, as by our hands in this our present act, you see we do, yet see you but our hands and this bleeding business they have done. Our hearts, you see not. They are pitiful and pity to the general wrong of Rome. As fire drives out fire, so pity, pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brothers' tempers do you receive with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude, besides themselves with fear, and then we will deliver you the cause that I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you? Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand? Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna, and my valiant Casca. Yours. The last, not least in love. Yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen, all, alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on slippery ground, that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer that I did love thee, Caesar. 'Tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death, Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, most noble, in the presence of thy corpse? Had I as many eyes as thou hast, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Jules. Here wast thou bade, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here by thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lethe. O world, thou wast the forest of this heart, and indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer strucken by many princes dost thou here lie.
Mark Antony, I would...
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend, it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hand, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends, I am with you all, and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else, were this a savage spectacle? Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you, Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek. And moreover, suitor, that I may produce his body to the marketplace and in the pulpit as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first and show the reason of our Caesar's death. When Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented Caesar shall have all true rights and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
Know not what may fall, I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission. Else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral. And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I'm going, after My speech is ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest woman that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I do prophecy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men, domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered within the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deeds, and Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with 8 by his side, hot from hell, shall in this confines with a monarch's voice cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. That this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
I did receive his letters and his coming. And bid me say to you by word of mouth, oh, Caesar.
My heart is big. Yet the apart and weep passion I see is catching. For mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in line, began to order. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavia yet. I hence and tell him so, yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this corpse into the marketplace. There shall I try, in my opinion, how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to the young Octavius and state of things. Lend me your hand.